Hey everybody, welcome back to another knife review. Today we're taking a look at the CJRB Pyrite. And before I get into the knife, I'll show the packaging. So, it comes in a normal CJRB box, CJRB branded pouch with a microfiber cleaning cloth. So for a cheap knife, very nice presentation. These are only about $49.95, so very nice presentation for that cheap of a knife. And I'll show a couple looks before I get into it. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the specs and some of the design features. First off, we got an overall length of 7.3 inches. Blade length is 3.11 inches. Cutting edge of 2.9 inch. Blade width, which kind of means the height from edge up to the back, is 1 inch. Blade thickness, 0.11. Nice and thin. The handle length is 4.19 inches. Handle width, 1.05 inches. Handle thickness, 0.4. Kind of a slim knife. Weight is 3.6 ounces. Steel blade and steel handles. It's a little chunky. It is an AR RPM9 blade steel. That is kind of the proprietary CJRB. I believe it's also on the artisan knives, or artisan cutlery knives. So that's their budget. I think it's a powdered stainless, but it is their budget steel that's supposedly pretty good. Its price range of these knives are pretty much in line with a lot of the 14C27, which is great steel. I love that steel, so I think it's supposed to perform pretty close to that. Drop point blade, flat grind, stonewash finish, plain edge, stainless handle for the handle scales, and AR RPM9 is a stainless steel also for the blade. Tip up pocket clip, reversible, right hand, left hand. Thumb stud opening, it is on bearings. It is a button lock, made in China, like all artisan and CJRB. I don't have any. This is the first CJRB that I've handled. This is not my knife, but a gift I bought. So I might mess up the CJRB and call it CRJB or something, because I don't have any of these and kind of new to them. So kind of get into some of the design features now. Like I said, steel handles, and they are full steel handles. No, I don't think there's any liners or anything in there, but they are skeletonized. You can see they're kind of nicely polished in there too. They're nicely polished and stone washed on the outside also, but you can see how smooth and reflective that is on the inside. Lanyard hole back there. The button is kind of recessed, so if it's in your pocket, you might not be as likely to hit it and have it open in your pocket. And also, when it's open, it protrudes out a little, so it's easier to press. Thumb stud, both side opener. Little jimping on the blade there. Nice little scallops near the thumb stud, so you can get in there a little easier to flip it open. And like I said, this is a $49.95 knife, so feels very good for that cheap of a knife. You can see the blade steel right there. AR RPM9. For being kind of a slimmer, skinnier, simple feeling knife, that steel handle is very kind of robust feeling. Feels like it's strong and stout. Gives it a nice feel in the hand. It's a little slippery, but G10 or something would definitely be, which there are G10 options, but G10 would definitely be a grippier surface if you're, I think Nick Shabazz says if you're working in the Vaseline factory or something, then this isn't the knife for you. But if you're working somewhere where you're not going to be slippery constantly while using it, then if you're not working outside in the rain or hands won't be wet, then this knife should be perfectly fine. See, perfectly centered. Oh, see if I can get it to focus. There we go, perfectly centered. Can't really show the lockup because it is a button lock, so not really able to do that, but feels good. There's a slight wiggle, nothing major. You can tell it's definitely engaged with the lock, so no problem there. And if you open it slower, then it feels like it locks up a little better. It's just when you thwack it out, you might be able to feel a little, but definitely not bad for a $49.95 knife. Pocket clip, nice retention. It's going against the smooth surface too, so like a G10 knife or one of the Spyderco with the bidirectional grip for the FRN, this will go in nice and smoothly. Pocket clip's nicely polished too, so very smooth in and out of the pocket. So one of the pros and cons. The pros is it came sharp, very sharp out of the box. So I always try to make that the priority for the pros because you definitely want a sharp knife. So came very sharp. It's also very smooth. It's on bearings, so fires out smooth. The button disengages nice and easy. No lock stick or anything. It just press the button and it closes. When you press the button, it really relieves all the friction on the blade, so it really just falls. It's like a compression lock pretty much. Once you open it all the way on a Spyderco, it's pretty free floating, so you can see how smooth that is. Also, it's just a very nice, simple design. There's nothing crazy about it. It's kind of, I don't know, especially with the handle, it's almost as plain as a butter knife. So it's not something that if you're at work in an office or something, or if you're out in public and you need to cut something, if you flick this out, then it's almost like a grandpa flicking out an old Barlow or something. It's not something that's a big tactical dagger looking thing. It's kind of just a simple little straight knife. Not much more scary looking than a Swiss Army knife, so another pro there. Onto the cons. I think really the only con, other than a little tiny bit of lock wiggle, which right now, so now it doesn't have it. It locked up perfectly good. Other than that, it's a little heavy. Like I said, with full steel handle scales instead of just a liner with G10 over it. It's obviously going to be heavier than that. So you kind of expect that much, but after holding a lot of titanium frame locks that have been scalloped out, all in the skeletonized on the inside and stuff, this is definitely a little chunkier. They did skeletonize it, but steel is way heavier than, or not way heavier. Steel's heavier than titanium. It's way heavier than aluminum. So if you have an aluminum handled knife, then that's like, I forget what the ratio is. Aluminum's like 0.6 as heavy as steel, so 60% as heavy. Titanium's a little closer, 80 or 90% as heavy as steel, so you get a little bit of saving if this was a titanium handle. I think they do have titanium button locks from CJRB that are a little more expensive. I think they're in the mid 100 range, so this being $49.95 obviously is a lot better budget-wise, but there are titanium versions. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, 119 for the titanium Damascus version. So Damascus blade with a titanium handle. Oh, and there's also a 79.95 titanium version. So that one is. Oh, that one says it's even heavier. I don't even know what's happening. But stainless, just a little chunky, a little heavy for a kind of a slim, thin feeling knife. My weak height fin is super lightweight. It's got a skinny blade. It's pretty much the same size and shape as this, but it's way lighter. So a little heavier, but like I said earlier, the heaviness kind of makes you think it's a little more stout. So you might abuse it a little harder, which it should be able to handle with that button lock and everything. Other than that, I can't really think of any cons. It's a nice simple design. Obviously, you can see everything is very well rounded. All of this up here is well rounded. Everywhere your hands are gonna go is well rounded, so you won't have any sharp sticking points anywhere on this. Button is nice and comfortable, so no other cons I can think of. On to the final opinions on the knife. For $49.95, I think it's a really cool knife. It's very simple, but just definitely a great user. I think it looks cool being steel like that. If you want to get the titanium version and do some anodizing to it or something, then that would look cool too. But just this plain steel is also just kind of a nice, simple, minimalistic look. And like I said, not threatening really in any way, so you're not going to scare anybody with it, and it's not very tactical or meant for killing or anything, so definitely just a nice little EDC. Should be fairly strong. And at a price of $49.95, it's just definitely a good deal. There's plenty of other versions too if you don't like the steel. There's black G10, green G10. Yeah, plenty of other colors. Gray G10. So a lot of other versions. And it's a pretty simple knife, so that's pretty much all I have to say about it. If you liked this video and you want to see more reviews like it, check out the channel and like and subscribe to help it grow. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.